Guys, today we're watching Vision of Marathon. This is an official Bungie ViDoc. We even have a release date that's been revealed to us, which will be March 2026. Now, normally, ViDocs have popped off. We're going to see if this one pops off here and convinces us all to be hyped for this game. Let us begin.
Players want more challenge. The whole point of an extraction shooter is that you're challenged to even survive in this world.
We heard loud and clear from the alpha, the world didn't feel dangerous. The world didn't feel lived in.
Tau Ceti 4 to us is this place that really doesn't want you there. And that sort of survival narrative really fits really well with the kind of world that we're creating.
The world needs to feel like there is something sinister underneath the surface, even when the colors are really bright.
You should not be here.
We want to marry the
Clovis?
classic Bungie game feel, where you are blasting stuff in the face and it feels amazing, with the sort of high tension of the survival genre.
If you want good loot, you have to go to places where you're taking risks, either risks from other players or risks from AI.
So we have all these tools now, Rook with Prox Chat and the way the game works
Proximity
and sort of
chat?
how tense it is. I think all those things work together really well.
We have another Rook. Come on, stop that. No. Sorry.
The Marathon ship is essentially a ship that we sent out from Earth, an Earth that was overpopulated, to explore and colonize a star far away that we call Tau Ceti. In a lot of ways, it's like the tale of humanity trying to go out into the dark void of space, find a place to colonize, and failing terribly at it.
Everyone's gone, something catastrophic happened, and it's not just their absence that's important, it's the things that they left behind.
The modern race to Tau Ceti all started when a mysterious signal came through the galaxy.
The turmoil that sort of ensues gives rise to all these corporations that were invested in this Marathon project, now going, what happened? How do we recoup our investment?
And then layered on top of that is the greed and corruption of all of the different factions and corporations and revolutionary groups.
In our version of the world, we send people out not just to discover what happened, but also to collect from the things that remain there. And those people...
Ironic. Chill. Chill. Calm down.
...are runners.
As a runner, you're a biocybernetic mercenary who's traded their human body for a biosynthetic one.
You're not an unkillable god slayer. You are a mercenary, a disposable mercenary. You will live, you will die.
They are not people. You are the person. You go into that shell and adopt the personality matrix that is specifically designed to help you do the thing that you need to do. And you've been hired by these factions to come to Tau Ceti to scavenge it for anything that might be of value.
As a runner, you've left your body behind. You've traveled light years so that you can have access to the ultimate payday.
With extraction shooters, it is all about survival. There are other people who want the same things that you want, and it's up to...
Can I just say the game already does, like, not, I don't know, gameplay wise, but I would say like the atmosphere, the map already looks substantially better. Like you can see they've given it a lot of polish. With that being said, look at that ass. That is one... Again, it's not supposed to be an actual beautiful ass here. I mean, it's, you know, it's supposed to kind of look like, you know what I'm saying? You're not a person. You're, what do they call us? What do they call us? Runners? We're a runner, right? Looks like a diaper, right? Right. Well, it looks like you're just kind of, you're modular. You're put together. You know what I mean? Definitely not America's ass. No, not a...
You to best them.
But there's quiet periods where you're listening for the anticipation of something. Could there be another crew in the distance? Did I just hear a gunshot? Did I hear AI just alert? And then there's the loud, bombastic action moments where the minute something is alerted, the minute you're in that fight, now it's go time. Players particularly pose a lot of danger to you. They can make a lot of decisions that you might find illogical and completely trick you into scenarios. Sometimes the best loot box is another player that you see along the run. So there's
all right, so they're sticking with their weapon design here, guys. Okay. Yeah, so all of this inventory seems to be like this all still seems to be the same on this. It looks bland. It's an art style, right? Like what's the style? Minecraft? No, not Minecraft. They've given it a little more love, right? But about the same. It's Roblox. All right.
So there's a few different ways you can play the game. So one of them is you can play in crew, both with your friends and also through crew fill, which will just match you with 2 other players. You can play solo, and you'll jump into a game with a bunch of other solo players.
In solo, I think the stakes are a bit higher, right? You have only yourself to rely on.
You still have proc strat, so you can call out to other solos, but you are playing a tense alliance game where it's really up to them whether or not they decide to honor or respect that alliance you might have created.
It's all about figuring out what's your investment, what's your stake, when to get in, when to get out, and when to kill the other guy. Being good at Marathon is like playing poker with guns.
One of the things we've really focused on is making sure the environments are selling the...
All right, so there's going to be a hey, don't shoot command that you can automate. Hey, don't shoot. I will say Arc Raiders has really nailed solo play. You know what I mean? They've really nailed solo play. I'm curious to see how solo play is going to feel in Marathon.
Tone we want to hit with the game.
We've brought a little bit of groundedness, a little bit of grit, a little bit of darkness, a little bit of that mood that kind of is necessary for an extraction shooter to feel dangerous.
Our biggest goal has always been player immersion.
We're trying to keep everything as believable and realistic as possible.
So we cranked up all the material responses, feel accurate, feel realistic. You'll get gloss, you'll get crud and mud. And no one of those things is all that sexy, but when you layer in just a little bit more, responsive to light, a little bit more responsive to the player, things will part, water will pool.
I mean, I will say the game does look better. It does look a lot, but now whether this is enough, I have no idea, because it really comes down to gameplay too. But I will say the game, it looks a lot better. Is it immersive? I mean, look, it's immersive and, it's okay. Look, immersion is good. Arc Raiders really nailed, like I'm always talking about Arc Raiders when because I really feel like they nailed so much. But, it doesn't have to be like, that's where proxy chat kind of comes in, because that can kind of like pull you from it. Because it's like when you're sitting there and you're around the corner, okay, and you got your headphones on and you hear a guy begging to be res, and the other guy is like, I'll res you if you dance for me, bitch. And then they, and then they res him, and then they're like, now dance for me. And he's dancing, and then they mount him, they kill him again. And he's like, please. Those are the things that are memorable. You know where I'm coming from? Like you remember those situations. And or like that time that the guy said, I'll rest you if you bark for me. And Benny was like, woof, woof. Like, and look, they rest him, they let him go. Will Marathon have those moments? I don't know. Arc Raiders definitely had those moments.
Layer in all these different things, the world becomes much more alive. It feels like a real place. And then when you're feeling like a real place and you feel in danger, now your run matters.
I mean, this does look a lot better. I gotta say, guys, it does look a lot better.
I look back at some of the alpha shots, and it's kind of hard to tell when it's sunny or when it's rainy. Weather feels like weather now. But like when it's sunny, you get this really nice like bleaching effect. It feels bright. It feels like warm when it's sunny now.
It does look a lot
we're
better.
Just celebrating that color so much more. I think it just contributes to the whole effect.
Yeah. So we have dead bodies in the game now. We also have like decay on the runners themselves. Like you'll actually see them fall apart. We're actually dropping the body. The body stays there and the body slowly decays over time as you loot it.
So you come into a room and you see a bunch of carnage, but you see one body is still pristine. You know that their killer is probably close and you are not safe.
That's
If
actually really
everybody
cool.
is just a messy goop, you're probably okay.
Goop.
Audio is a huge gameplay component in Marathon. Every sound plays a function.
W change. I mean, it does look a hell of a lot better. Dude, I mean, looking at this now, the f was that we played this past summer? And they were going to ship that shit out in September? Bungie. Now, this is what I'm talking about. You got to at least make the game look sexy. The fuck did we play this past summer? Look at this. Look at that. Now, this is feeling spooky, man.
Footsteps tell players everything. It's telling you what is the type of threat that's around you. Where are they at? Are they above you? Are they far away? Are they close by? So if I'm in bioresearch and I hear a particular material type, I know, hey, they're on the second floor and they're in this room. Our hero is the world. So we're constantly trying to figure out where can music help reinforce what is the vibe and intent of this place.
There was the discussion about the interaction between score and sound design. And I wanted to create a score that wasn't just like full of instruments you've heard before. The job was, how can I make what I'm seeing?
Where can I get these glasses? I need these glasses. I'm not a glasses kind of guy, but with these glasses, somebody find me these glasses.
This race to survival even more nervous and even more terrifying and or even more thrilling.
We have 4 zones in each one.
I really like that they're working on music like this, but let me also say, sweaty extraction players, this is how they play. Turn all that shit off so that you can't hear any of it. They'll then go in their NVIDIA settings. They'll tweak all the gammas so they can see in darkness. All right. You know where I go from? I appreciate it. They'll cut all the graphics down to the lowest possible settings, right? So that foliage is not out there so they can see people in the, like, look, I love this. I'm going to play with all this stuff on, but that's just how extraction players are. They'll turn everything down, turn everything off, where it really does start to look like Roblox.
One of those zones has its own sort of approach to kind of level design and what it asks players to kind of think about and do. You're going to start with perimeter. You're kind of on the outskirts of the colony. It's a little more spread out. You got a little bit more areas to be safe and to sneak around, but it's also a little more straightforward.
It really brings this sense of scale. It sits like in our fantasy as expansion site for the colony on the very edges of where they had settled on Tau Ceti. UESC are also there trying to understand what has happened and secure the area. Death is a part of Marathon. It happens a lot, even on perimeter, which we talk about as a more friendly zone to new runners. You are still gonna die a lot.
Attention, unauthorized runner. You are trespassing in a military security zone.
It was really important to us that the UESC were not trivial to fight.
When you face them on Tau Ceti as a runner, you are the outlaw. You are trespassing.
They have a little bit of this haunted tone. So you can see they have this floating locomotion, they get these sparks, they have these sigils over their faces. Sometimes their behavior feels almost like they're possessed a little bit, like are they taking in commands from a remote AI? The elite tier is sort of like this dark blue. The mini boss tier is more like a lilac. The boss tier is just gonna be dipped in red.
They have these tendrils that latch out and leech onto you and start sucking away at your consciousness.
You're getting into marsh, you're starting to understand something bad happened here, and you're seeing signs of that in a way that wasn't apparent on perimeter.
On Dire Marsh, we've got the anomaly.
That is dope, yeah.
Strange alien entity that has erupted up out of the ground.
You're really feeling signs that this is more of an epicenter of where things went wrong on this colony.
It's got a different style of gameplay. It's more like a central complex that is rich with overlapping areas and regions that you can find yourself kind of bleeding from one encounter to another.
It's a great map to go in when you just want some action, and you're gonna need somewhere to farm.
Each map has different weather systems, it has different dynamic events that can happen, and your approach to them is never going to be consistent.
One of the needs that the design team thought that we should have is more challenging PvE activities.
Each of our zones has these bigger events that don't happen every session, but when they do happen, you'll know they're happening.
Building these types of events into the world shake up your run and make you decide, like, what do you want to risk?
Then you get to Outpost. An Outpost is a more functional, thriving UESC facility. There's scan drones flying overhead, the UESC's everywhere, there's tripwires, there's a weather hazards. It's a lot of stuff.
Why does this remind me of Titan? This reminds me of Titan. This looks dope though.
Against from the get-go.
Outpost is a smaller map, but it's also a lot more vertical. It's built around a specific building that we call the pinwheel.
This is just this meat grinder of a structure that's like a corkscrewed building that has nooks and crannies and hallways, and it just becomes a real, real cluster when you're in there fighting.
The floor is raised on Outpost and nothing is free. The pinwheel hosts some of the best loot opportunities.
Oh!
But it's noisy, players are gonna know you're doing it, so there's extra risks.
The character you're gonna spend the most time with is the zones. Understanding each personality of every zone. That's the storytelling every player gets.
Every time you're on the planet, you can look up and see the ship floating and looming in the skybox, reminding you of why this place even exists, but also reminding you that something up happened here, and you got to figure out what it was.
Marathon has a lot of loot in it. It's a huge pie. There's a ton of different implants at every rarity. There's a ton of different runner cores for each runner. There's over 400 weapon mods. Like, it's just an outlandish number of items to collect.
There's going to be a really interesting period of discoverability where players sort of figure out, what are the pieces that I have available to me? How do I get them? And how do I put them together into something that's awesome?
You can go through and look at how many iconic weapons have come from Bungie. And it's something that we really want to hold up and make sure that we're matching that legacy.
Visually, they're all really, really distinct and clearly Marathon, but we wanted animation-wise a majority of them to feel recognizable. So when you put them in your hands, you knew how to use them.
The mods will basically allow you to increase certain stats on the guns.
I just don't think the weapons are that sexy. Look. I'm gonna obviously there's gonna be value in them because they're gonna be really good, and it doesn't have to be the sexiest weapons. You know what I'm coming from? I just like coming from like DMT, all the different exotics that we've had over Destiny, the Last Word, Thorn. It just doesn't happen. I mean, I know people are gonna be Cross, this is Marathon, but even Mida Mini or Mida Multi-Tool, which came from Marathon, is still a sexy weapon. You know what I mean? Compared to Arc. I think Arc weapons, though, are very, distinct. I think, and what I really like about Arc weapons is, the mods don't make, the mods are obviously good, too. But then you have just the standalone weapon itself, the base weapon, which is good. But, hold on. Nobody likes Renegade and Arc Raiders? You don't like that? You don't like a Bobcat? You don't think that's sexy? A Tempest? Those weapons aren't sexy to you? Rather's ass? Obviously, that's the base weapon.
That battery SMG, the gold mod full-blown turns it into the Needlet. The sidearm is a gun that is effective in close quarters, but maybe not too much outside of that. But the gold mod on this gun puts a suppressor on it, and then when I kill something with this gun, I turn invisible. And then that lends it to other build crafting if I want to sort of stack into how invisible can I be.
Even some weapon mods can improve stats and your runner shell's capabilities. So there's lots of different ways to raise the floor of your stats so that you're coming into each run strong.
shells are a bioprinted body that you inhabit when you go down to Tau Ceti to scavenge the ruins of the Lost Colony. Each of our launch shells is really an archetype of gameplay. So if you want to play like a frontline tank, if you want to play a rat character that wants to sneak around, if you want to find those rats, we have a shell for you.
That is so good. Blackbird is so good.
The idea there is like, have a broad spectrum that everyone can kind of find a little bit of a home to, and then we're gonna build on top of that.
Cores and implants mold the kit into a playstyle that you want.
So examples of those are like, on Thief, I get a second grapple. On Destroyer, I pull out my Riot Barricade, and as it takes damage, it's actually converting that damage into shield back to me.
Oh, shit.
And these can be used in combination.
That's straight up like, that's some Destiny shit.
With each other to shift the gameplay style of your runner kit.
At any point you feel like you don't want to risk anything, or maybe you're down on your luck and you want the opportunity to get back, Rook's your guy.
Rook is a prototype runner shell.
It's a mode where we make it easy for you to just kind of drop into a match that's in progress and run about and try to scavenge as much as possible.
You are going in solo to a run that's already in progress. You don't have a team. You have a very limited loadout.
That's Scav
but
run.
You're not risking anything. This lets you kind of get in, grab a little bit of loot, and then bail.
So when you get like a really powerful gun or implant or core, it is unlocking some new space or new challenge that you've never done before, and the loot is helping you reach greater heights.
Faction agents are such a big vehicle for tone and narrative for the world.
Each faction has their own motivations, their own desires, the things they're going to ask you to do.
We've got Traxxas. They're the most powerful corporation in human history. They have very long arms and very deep pockets to kind of get what they want.
So they might ask you to go and find specific weapons or mods.
Congratulations, runner. Your last performance evaluation was rated on track.
If you're a PvP player, one of the factions is called Arachne. They're essentially a death cult. What that translates to is that they're asking you to go and kill other runners.
The sacred thermodynamics of violence.
MIDA is all about destruction. They are going to give you grenades, they're going to give you claymores, they're going to let you blow the place up.
And they are irreverent and dangerous. They might ask you to upload this malware into a UESC dropship, and as it leaves, it explodes and careens off into the distance.
We have big plans. Explosive, visionary.
Each of our factions has an upgrade tree that you unlock progressively as you gain reputation with them.
And along the way, you're going to unlock these capstones that are these special upgrades. When you unlock that final capstone, you're gaining access to the best stuff in the market. You're getting gold items.
In addition, these faction upgrades can increase your runner's base stats, and those base stat upgrades are permanent for the rest of the season.
I'm really curious how they're going to notice rest of the season. I'm curious how Bungie is going to handle wipes here. But the fact that you can get up to gold items through the factions is pretty wild.
Access denied.
Darius, you know me. Did you miss your last round of maintenance?
Don't search. Don't dig. Don't question.
Darius?
Access denied.
Hey,
Access
it's
denied.
okay. It's just me.
You're not alone.
The Codex is a suite of achievements, collectibles, audio logs, things that you're finding in Run that we're going to track for you over time. The more you find these items, the more story you're unlocking about them and what their role is in the world, why they're here, who cared about them, why they're as valuable as they are.
I'm repeating myself with these entries, but any fears inherent in the scope of this endeavor seem unfounded.
Within the Codex, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can unlock. Runner skins, weapon charms, stickers, emblems, backgrounds for your profile, and titles.
So it's everything from your first steps on the world of Tau Ceti 4 all the way through to becoming a vid master and taking on the most extreme challenges.
The Marathon ship is the hardest place to survive in this game. And if you're not ready to take your best stuff, well, you're not going to survive. It's like a heist for a runner. Cryo Archive is big in and of itself, but it's also cold. It's also hostile.
It's gonna test every aspect of the survival game. Probably gonna be forced to run to players in ways you haven't been on other maps. You're gonna run into basically every type of environmental threat you have faced before. You're gonna fight a who's who of the highest tier UESC units, and
Are you asking why is there stamina? Have you not played in Extraction? Of course it's gonna be a stamina bar. But it does, yes. It's fair. That is fair though. They just call Marathon.
UESC are there in this presence you haven't seen before.
It's really cool because each of the vaults is more successively challenging than the next. And that 7th vault is where you both are going to get the coolest thing, but also where you're going to learn the most about what happened to this place.
At some point in your journey in Cryo Archive, you might start wondering if the UESC are there to keep you out or if they're actually there to keep something else in.
I think the thing that I'm most excited about for Marathon is getting into the hands of our players.
The biggest thing I want people to take away from Marathon is that it still feels amazing. It still feels like it has that spark.
It takes all the aspects that I think Bungie is really good at. First-person feel and gunplay, the super deep, crazy sci-fi lore, and it mixes up all those things together in a really amazing PvP package.
Really comes down to every single discipline that's working on the game. The animation has to be good, the sound has to be good, everything has to be working in harmony.
That's when the controller fades away, the screen fades away. You're just immersed in the world.
That is what we're trying to live up to with Marathon.
It is a mad dash. I'm not going to front about that. It's a mad dash to the finish, but that's when you got to put in the elbow grease and the extra sweat and blood it takes to get this done.
Dude, what is this? What is it? Let's go. 5 people in the extract.
Dude, that is just right around the corner, man. That is right around the corner. March will be here before you know it, guys. And we'll see, man. We'll see. There's an Art of Vision Marathon, new gameplay, dev insight, and more. All right, so since the alpha playtest in April, we've been quietly iterating on Marathon alongside a dedicated community of players. Every closed playtest was a chance for us to hear candid feedback about what's working, what needs work, and where Marathon can shine. Today, we're sharing a new look at Marathon and the impact of the fusion between the community's feedback and our vision of Marathon. You can watch the full ViDoc now. Marathon releases March 2026, target price of $39.99. We'll announce additional regional pricing as we get closer to launch. Purchasing Marathon will give you full access to the game, including a roadmap of free gameplay updates as the year progresses. This will include new maps, new runner shells, events, and more, starting with an exploration of the UESC Marathon's Cryo Archive in Season 1. We also want to ensure you are logging in because you love the game, not from fear of missing out. So Marathon's reward passes will not expire, and you'll be able to purchase and unlock prior passes. Finally, and most importantly, we believe in preserving competitive integrity in Marathon, so survival will never come down to how much money you spend. We'll share more about our plans for seasonal content, a roadmap, and details about when you'll be able to try the game as we get closer to launch. Yeah, I'm assuming they're going to have to do an open beta here, probably in the next couple of months. just to give everybody a taste of it. You know what I mean? Okay, so ViDoc highlights. Today we shared new gameplay footage and we dove into how we're embracing the survival extraction challenge and dark sci-fi world of Marathon. Highlights include timestamp links if you'd like to learn more new features since alpha, including proximity chats, solo queue, Rook, a runner shell used to scavenge matches in progress, so essentially free loadout. The world and fantasy of Marathon, ways we're doubling down on the dark, gritty, and grounded sci-fi world. Your role in Marathon, you are the runner, and you transfer your consciousness into different shell designs with unique capabilities. Yeah, I didn't play the original Marathon. Is this how the original Marathon was? The whole transfer of consciousness thing? No. So this is entirely new to this Marathon. Okay, I got you. I don't know what the original story for Marathon is. I'm just curious about the whole. They're trying to like right here, like they mention it in the ViDoc, like they really want you to know you're transferring your consciousness into different shells designed with unique capabilities. Okay. Improved visual fidelity and immersion, including dead runners drop as corpse and decay over time. Deepening environmental storytelling. The role of audio. Introduction to Marathon's 4 zones. 3 surface zones, perimeter, dire marsh, and outpost. The first zone on the UASC Marathon Cryo Archive. And an in-game challenge. Fluid customization, weapons and mods, including ways to customize your gun in unique ways, like turning the battery SMG into the needler. Runner shell archetypes and ways to customize your playstyles. This is just me, guys. I think everything is looking really good. I'm still not completely sold on the loot, but I mean, look, I'm sure over time I'm gonna look at a weapon design in game, and who knows, maybe I'll be like, wow, this thing is sexy. You know, it's beautiful. I love its which doesn't have curves. I love its blocky design. You know what I mean? Like I maybe over time it'll get me. Factions and progression. Factions and the jobs they'll ask you to do in game, like mine are requesting you to blow up a UESC dropship. Faction upgrade trees and capstone rewards you'll earn each season. The codex, collection of your achievements and narrative discoveries. Progress to earn exclusive cosmetics and lore. This game is not like Arc Raiders. It's hardcore as fuck. So Les actually brings up a great point. I need everyone to know this about Marathon. It is going to be hard. But they will have solo available, but it is going to be a hard game with PvP as like a big focus. There is a lot more PvP. From what I've heard, they've really amped up PvE in it. For instance, I have a completely loaded down vault essentially inside of Arc Raiders with a shit ton of great weapons and items. I'm gonna be honest, 80% of that stuff I got from free loadout runs. I'm just letting you know. I have scavenged my ass off, and a lot of them have to do with the security breaches. But I got 80% of those things from free loadout runs. I don't think you're going to be able to get away with that here inside of Marathon. I just want you to know, based on conversations, that Marathon is going to be a challenging game. You know, it's going to be a challenging game. The AI is no joke. All right, so what's next for Marathon? We'll be sharing more gameplay and other surprises and chatting with the community more often as we prepare for release in March 2026. You can keep up with the latest news on Discord, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Looking forward to getting the Marathon in your hands next year. All right. Well, guys, it's happening. No more delays. They putting it out there. It is about to square up with everything. Tarkov, Arc Raiders, other extraction shooters out of Delta Force. You know what I mean? I don't know if Delta Force is still popping or not. We will see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Wow, so many people are still unconvinced. Oh yeah, man, there's a lot of people skeptical. You know where I'm coming from? And look, that's why an open beta could be the turning point, could be the thing that really pulls people in, you know, and starts to create some momentum here. I think the ViDoc was good, guys. I do think the ViDoc was solid. You know, I think there's some folks definitely excited about this game, you know, but I also think that many extraction players are deeply rooted in the games they already play. And I would not be surprised. I haven't even looked at a roadmap. I wouldn't be surprised if Arc Raiders just conveniently sets up a massive content drop in March. I don't know. Anybody know roadmap? I would not be surprised if Arc Raiders is like, here's all this shit we're dropping in March 2026. But the biggest difference between Arc Raiders and this game is it's first person. It is first person. And there are people out there that cannot stand third person. And so this is first person here. And it's got the sci-fi elements that all Bungie games essentially have. Well, we'll see, guys. We'll see. I'm excited to I just want it out. I'm excited to just see Marathon out in the wild, and then it could be decided. You know where I'm coming from? Like it won't be any more questions on whether or not Marathon's formula is the correct formula. It will be out there, everyone to play, and we'll see how it falls or how it shakes out. Bro, I'm not gonna cap. I'm hyped about Marathon. That's what I'm saying. There are people very hyped about this game. So for you guys, really, I hope it's gonna be a good game. I promise we will give it a fair shake. And all I'm gonna say is that if the game is great, wonderful. I actually think that maybe this could mean good things for Bungie as a whole and Destiny. I do worry if the game's not going to be great though. And Destiny players are they're not going to give it any grace if it's not great. I'm just letting you know. I don't think Destiny players are going to give it even an ounce of grace. It's not like a DE situation where you have Soulframe and Warframe and you know what I mean? That's a different kind of community.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.